Greetings, YouTube. I'm sure starting out the video this way is going to cause some people to say, Prof, why you flexing on your 6-star roster? That's what the kids say nowadays. I want you to know that I'm not trying to do that. In fact, I have 6-star Survivor's Guild. I have opened far less 6-star crystals than so many of my friends who play in Platinum and Master Alliances. And I have spent far less iTunes credit than actual cash that many spend trying to pull 6-star champions, and still, based solely on the random number generator in a 6-star crystal or a Cavalier crystal maybe, my 6-star roster is just better than most, and it is completely random luck. It is not due to any credit of my own that I have a 6-star Corvus or a 6-star Domino or any of the other 6 stars that you see in front of you. And even the last 2 6 stars I've opened, both Gamora and Winter Soldier, which on the surface are certainly not Domino and Corvus, are still really solid. Gamora had the random surprise buff, and of course Winter Soldier is a variant beast, especially paired with Killmonger. So I have yet to have a really, really bad pull. Even Deadpool X-Force has some synergy that helps me with Domino. So overall, I'm blessed to have the 6-star roster, and I recognize that most summoners do not have anything that looks anything close to the 6-star roster. In fact, it seems like recently, both in my live streams and via the Line app, several summoners have reached out to me for what I like to call the MCOC middle class that are starting to open their first ever or their second ever 6 stars, and that pool is already pretty dang big. And so naturally, most of the 6-star champions in the pool suck, or at least on the surface they suck, and unless you want your champions to be sponsored by a low-rate vacuum cleaner company, you don't want them to suck. So, here's the deal. There are a number of champions. If the new Alliance War map and the new global nodes, Lord help us, go live, are going to be way better as defenders almost instantly, especially if your Alliance picks a certain global node. And so, 6 stars that you are now looking at and shaking your head at thinking, man, I'm never going to take this person to rank 2 and they're not a very good attacker. Suddenly, they're going to be a much better defender. And then in general, there are just some underappreciated 6 stars that I feel like deserve recognition. So I'm going to choose, this might be a new series, and certainly as new champions get added into the game, the options for this will grow. But I am going to choose 5 of what I think are going to be very solid, if not already solid defenders that many people seem to have as 6 stars, and even at unawakened, not ever going to be ranked 2, maxed out rank 1 6 stars are still going to be nice. And I will say right off the top, and this one is fairly obvious, but I do know several people who have this guy, the same guy that I have as well, a unawakened 6-star Nightcrawler. Now this is obviously a solid defender, but I think as an attacker too, I just want to say I've had a lot of fun playing around with this Nightcrawler. In fact, I've gained respect for this champion after pulling him as a 6-star. And I think Nightcrawler is a bit underappreciated as an attacker, but certainly as a defender, I have gotten several kills from this guy, especially on the all immunities boss, or I should say mini boss node. So Nightcrawler is a solid option for defense immediately, and he's a better defender unawakened. So just keep that in mind. If you have a 6-star Nightcrawler and if you haven't had any kills, maybe put him on the all immunities right side mini boss, though with the new map coming, who knows what placement he's going to be best at. Stay tuned. Now, I want to jump from this to a very underappreciated, and I hate fighting with this guy as an attacker, and I really, really hate fighting him as a defender, and that is the king of annoyance, the King of Groot. Now, King Groot has some very solid regen, especially as a 6-star, and keep in mind that 6 stars health is much higher than 5 stars. So any enhanced regeneration node, he does well. I also think putting him on nodes that have limber and certainly stun immunity helps as well. This guy is a tank. You can easily fool around in timeout on a 6-star Groot, and I have a feeling in the future certain nodes are going to make this defender even better. So I've seen people pull the 6-star King Groot. They get depressed. I get it. but at the same time, don't be so depressed that you lose sight of the fact that you have a new solid defender that might help your alliance, who knows, win an alliance war with a couple of sweet KOs. One of the biggest pains defender, and I think this person has jumped up a solid, 20 to 30 spots on my defender list rankings, is someone that used to be miles behind, but now might be miles ahead of his competition. Who am I referring to? And oh yeah, I don't even have this guy, I believe, as a 5-star. I have to go all the way down to 4-star status to look at Mr. Miles Morales, the king of the Into the Spider-Verse, my favorite movie of 2018. So let's talk about Miles Morales, because indeed, what makes this champion so good when it comes to the future of the game is the fact that he is a small champion. And so when you choose that global node that enhances the evade of small champions, Miles Morales becomes like the Invisible Woman before the Invisible Woman. By the way, that Invisible Woman video that Kabam put out recently on April Fools, I do think that was an April Fool's joke. At least I hope so. Some people were like, you just have to use OG Daredevil. And I'm thinking, yeah, for specials, but that video, she's just attacking the defender with attacks. That's not going to help you as OG Daredevil. But yeah, Miles Morales, like King Groot, a very underappreciated defender already, but you're going to have a lot of use on that 6-star Miles Morales status, even if you never take him to rank 2 when the new map comes out. So just keep that in mind as well. Now, another defender that has gained in popularity, especially in the middle mini-boss node, and it is not a member of the science class, it's a member of the tech class, is a very popular 6-star in Punisher 2099. Now, this champion, I'm going to talk about this champion similar to the next champion I'm going to refer to as a good defender, but, certain specials, especially when you get the power gain up to the special 2, make it a pain. And Punisher 2099 can get a few sneaky good kills. I would say he's an honorable mention on this list, but for whatever reason, I think it's because he has such clunky animations, but I swear to you, Beast gets random kills. I can't explain it. I don't know why, but Beast is an honorable mention on this short list because Beast gets kills. He goes into Beast mode. Maybe he just turns into the silent assassin, and we don't know about it until the person's dead. But Beast mode, Beast, just trust me, I can't explain it, but it works. Punisher 2099, a very solid choice and underappreciated. And likewise, for similar reasons, especially on the current map, I have found that Bishop can get some really solid KOs, at least one per Alliance War, with his ability to have an amazing special 2 and just energy damage in general. And so I'm a big fan of Mr. Bishop as well. Now, there are a couple people that are a little bit better of defenders in terms of not being as hidden, but I wanted to bring them up before I ended this video because I truly think they're solid now, but the next map is going to make them even more OP. I hate, and I mean hate, fighting any form, but especially a 6-star form of Green Goblin. When I see green, my face turns red. Green Goblin has consistent regeneration. I think some sneaky good specials, and especially like an unblockable special 1. If you don't time that initial animation correctly, you'll be wrecked. You'll be left basically as a standing duck, and then all of that damage piled onto those spirit bombs are going to knock you out. Green Goblin is a defender that I never get excited to see, even when I have my Blade and Ghost Rider synergy team to get that danger sense. And I do think Green Goblin, as the game evolves, is going to continue to be a respectful defender. Likewise, another member of the tech class that I have seen several people time out against as a 6-star is Nebula. Such an underrated amount of regeneration, and of course the immunities help as well. Nebula is not a fun defender to fight. And as the game continues and you bring in more of those really, really pesky global Act 6 Chapter 1 nodes, Nebula is going to improve even more because it's going to be harder to get her down in that 3-minute timer. So, yes, Nebula and Green Goblin, 2 members of the tech class that typically are very solid already are going to get even better in the next rendition of Alliance War. A couple of honorable mentions I wanted to throw out there, just in passing. Morningstar, obviously, as an attacker and defender, is really good. Hela, I also wrote down a couple of underappreciated Proxima Midnight on the Unblockable Special 2 has gotten me kills before. If you have him awakened, Juggernaut's going to be as much of a beast as ever. Kingpin can get some sneaky good kills. And then, you know what? I'll go ahead and put this guy up on screen because to end it, I know a lot of you are sick of this joke, but if you haven't heard it before, maybe it actually sounds original. Even though I have DirecTV, who needs satellite when you can get access to, say it with me, cable. Because cable, do I even have this guy as a 5-star? I may not have it. Oh, there we go. Barely do. Cable is a pain. And even as an Alliance War boss, can be harder to get down in some cases, depending on who you bring in, than I've seen Medusa. So Cable is a fantastic 6-star defender as well. And then, of course, if you're lucky enough to pull some of the new featured champions like Havoc or Mr. Sinister, look out. I do believe that 6-stars are going to be the most common defenders going forward. Their health and their attack make them so much better options, especially if your 5-stars aren't at least rank 4. So as we continue to talk about 6-stars more and how 6-stars are the quote-unquote new 5-stars, it's important to have tier lists like this that maybe at least mention the value of the average 6-star, because for every one Corvus or one Domino that you're going to pull, you're probably going to pull 10 Cables or 10 Juggernauts or 10 King Groots. So who did I miss? Who should be in Volume 2 of this new series? Comment below and let me know. And as always, thank you for watching and supporting my Marvel Contest of Champions YouTube channel. It's not Contest of YouTube Champions channel. That would be weird. And whenever you pull a 6-star, before you get really angry, just take a step back. I want to remind everybody as I conclude this video that my #1 champion, the face of my profile, when I started my YouTube channel, was a rank 440 unawakened Hulkbuster. Life does get better.